Welcome to the Capital Area School Development Association Virtual College Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as your facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our amazing presenters at any point throughout our session today. Second, your camera and microphone are off. We are not able to see or hear you. Third, this is just one of many different sessions happening, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you will have access to that recording within about a week or so. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter. Thank you for joining us again, and have a great time.
All right, so welcome everyone. My name is Chris Lipscomb. I'm an assistant director of admission at Endicott College, also an alumni. I graduated in 2017 with my undergrad degree, in 2018 with my master's here. I'm going to get my screen shared so we can get started. I do have a short time with you, so I'm just going to give you kind of an overview of the college and some important details to hit. This here is a aerial shot of the majority of our campus. To talk a little bit about our location. In our size, we are located in Beverly, Massachusetts, which is about 20 miles north of Boston. So really easy access via the commuter rail into North Station. So if you're looking for a campus that has a good relationship to a big city, but isn't necessarily in a big city, I think Endicott's a great fit for that. Size-wise, we are just under 3,000 undergraduate students, which is going to put your average class size at about 17. I kind of like to use a range of 15 to 25, depending on your program. We have no classes over 40 students and very few over 30. So that's a little bit about our size. We have students coming from 38 different countries and 30 different states, so a pretty diverse population of students at Endicott. And then housing and residence life real quick. Housing is guaranteed all 4 years. 93% of our students will choose to live on campus all 4 years. And then we do see about 90% of our students stay on campus on the weekends. So really active community. We have Division III athletics, over 50 clubs and organizations on campus. So there's a lot to get involved with on campus. Academically, we offer 8 different academic schools and almost 80 different programs between majors and minors. So really excited to share this list of programs with you, but I cannot dive into each individual program with the time that we have. So I'd encourage you to take a look on our website, dig a little bit deeper into the programs you may be interested in, schedule a visit on campus, schedule an office hour with the dean. We have a bunch of different opportunities for you to connect with faculty and staff on campus. We are offering on-campus tours. The only caveat is you can't go in the residence halls at this time, but we are offering in-person on-campus tours as well as a host of virtual options. A little bit about what I believe is a huge impact on our campus is our internship program. So every student is required to complete 3 internships over the course of 4 years. The variations include nursing education and athletic training. Those students complete clinical hours for nursing and athletic training students and pre-practicum and student teaching hours for those education students. So they're on a little bit different of a path, but everybody else, all the other majors on campus, a 3-week internship during the January break of the freshman year, same thing sophomore year, and then a full semester internship, typically first semester of the student's senior year. Now, these internships aren't placements. We have a lot of support in place, though, in terms of helping students find their internships. So students are really free to do their internships wherever they'd like. Some students will choose to go home during the winter break. The majority of students will choose to go home during the winter break to complete those first 2 internships. A handful of students will decide to stay on campus, to utilize the North Shore or the Boston area. But no matter where you decide to do your internships, there's an internship coordinator there to help guide you. We take professional development classes before each internship experience to work on, those interview skills and putting together a resume, writing cover letters, and then most importantly, searching for the internships. You can see some of the outcomes here on the right-hand side. 98% of our students had full-time jobs or were in graduate school 6 months after graduation, and 90% of students found employment related to their majors. So the one thing I like to really say about this program is, yes, you're going to graduate with a degree, but you're also going to graduate with a resume that has 3 separate experiences at a minimum. Some students will choose to do more internships, as well as direction. You'll have an opportunity to try out your industry, figure out what you like about it, what you don't like, and that can help shape your career path. So you're walking across the stage with really those 3 things. This is just a highlight of some of the key internship sites that we see students do their internships. What I like to really highlight on this screen, though, is that we've had students do internships in 26 different states and 18 different countries. And part of that is we have students coming from all around the world to be students here. The other piece of that is we have students getting creative with that semester-long internship and maybe doing it at a distance domestically or internationally. But these are some of the big names where we see our students doing internships, but also getting jobs after graduation. So these are not just one-off experiences. These are pretty consistent for our students. To get into a little bit of our admission process, we are not on the Common App, so that's the one big difference in our process than a lot of other schools. You can see the other required documents for admission. You can see the profile of our 2020 admitted class. So you can see where you fall in on that middle 50% GPA. We are completely test optional this year and have been since 2013. Nursing, education, athletic training used to be programs that we required SAT scores for, but due to the pandemic, we did not this year. The only program I could see SAT scores coming back for is our nursing program. So that is something to keep in mind, but all the other programs will likely remain test optional. Our application opens on August 1st every year, so feel free to start filling that out as soon as you can towards the end of the summer. And then just a little bit about the cost. You can see our total cost of attendance there. We have financing options from merit scholarships to need-based financial aid. If you apply with a 3.0 or above, you're automatically considered for merit. And on the need-based side, all we require is the FAFSA. So that's really all I have there. I'm going to reiterate the fact that we are offering on-campus tours and a host of online events. So please check out our website to engage in any of those offerings. And we used to require students coming from out of Massachusetts to bring a negative COVID test, but I was just actually told this morning that the mass travel restrictions have changed and no longer are we requiring negative COVID tests from out-of-state visitors. So really much easier to visit campus now. And that's about all I have. I will drop my contact information into the chat for all of you. But thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, send them into the Q&A or chat.
Thank you so much, Endicott College. Up next, we have Lasell.
Hi, everyone. Bear with me just a second while we get the PowerPoint going here. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Zach Brower, coming to you from Lasell University on campus here in Newton, Massachusetts. For those of you who may not be familiar, haven't spent too much time in Greater Boston, Newton is the city right next door to Boston proper. So if you dropped one onto Google Maps and you dropped a pin on campus and another one on Fenway Park, it'll give you 8 miles just about exactly. I know I'm not great with distances, so I'll tell you a little more practically. We're close enough to Boston that we're actually on Boston subway system, the T. So if you walk off campus in either direction, about 5 minutes, you'll end up at one of the T stations, hop on the train, it'll take you right in the middle of downtown. We are a smaller institution, so we have about 1,700 undergraduate students. That means an average, a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of about 17. We do cap our classes at 25, so you will not have a class while you're with us that has more than 25 people in it. On the other end of the spectrum, though, as you do get further into your major, into some of those more advanced or specialized classes, the ones you probably care a little bit more about, that number is going to get pretty small to about 10 or so. So we have a high of about 25 students in class and a low of around 10. No matter what you study here at Lasell, every one of our classes is kind of based around our philosophy of connected learning. And the idea there is that no matter what class you're in, everything you read about, talk about, hear about should have some very clear connection to what you'll be doing professionally after you graduate. So you're going to find that lecture-based classes really aren't a thing here at Lasell. More often than not, you might have a discussion-based class where your professor is asking questions to the class and generating conversation. You might be working on a project in class to simulate what you're learning about. You may actually be hopping onto the train and heading downtown for class, but everything's going to have a very clear connection to what you'll be doing after you graduate. We are a very residential campus with about 80% of our students living on campus. I think part of that's because of our location. As I said, we're just next door to Boston, but Newton, where we are in particular, is a very residential neighborhood. It's very laid back. So when you need that quiet place to study, you're going to find that, although there's plenty going on. And then, like we said, easy access to downtown Boston via the subway. For someone looking to play sports at college, we are a member of NCAA at the Division III level, 17 varsity programs, all at or very near the top of the conference. So whether you're someone who's looking to participate or someone who's just looking to watch some competitive games, Lasell is a good place for you. So academically, we've got a lot going on at Lasell. Certainly can't dive into all 70 plus majors in the time we have here. But I want to let you know that all of our majors are organized into our schools. You can see the full list on the side. And the idea behind this school system is that we want you to have the flexibility to try the classes that are of interest to you, to be able to explore majors without necessarily being locked in right away, with a fair degree of flexibility. Within any one of our schools, it's very easy to change major if you decide something's not quite right for you. But because you get to try, you're going to have a good sense of what you might want to do. As far as what our programs are, though, we do have some of the more typical liberal arts majors, things like English and history and psychology, of course. But we do also have some really unique programs I want to draw your attention to, including things like, like entrepreneurship, like esport and gaming management. We have a wonderful exercise science program in and of itself, but especially good if you're looking to get into athletic training. We'll take you right into our master's in that area. We have a phenomenal forensic science program, and of course, our School of Fashion is fairly unique. We do have a fashion design major for anyone who might have a pair of shears in one hand and a needle in the other. But we also have majors that focus on the industry of fashion. As I said, that's just a sample of our majors, but if you do head onto our website, you can see the full list there. Certainly want to talk a little bit about internships. I think it's one of the things that makes Lasell stand out. No matter what you major in at Lasell, every one of our students will take at least one internship while they're with us. At this point, the vast majority of students are taking more than that one, but everyone will have at least one. What makes us a little bit different, though, as far as internships go, is that we work really hard to make sure you're never going to be the person who's grabbing coffee for your boss or answering someone's phone. We want you to be doing the kinds of things that will help you get a job. That means, managing a team or overseeing a project, whatever whatever makes sense for your program. We're going to work with you to make sure that you have a really great opportunity that you can, let's be honest, brag about a little bit in an internship. And so as you can see, summer internships are available. They can happen all throughout the year. They can happen abroad if you're someone who wants to study abroad. But no matter what you're doing or where you're doing it, we're going to be there to help make sure that the duties of your internship are meaningful and important. So being conscious of time, we want to make sure we know about some next steps. If anything that I've said here today caught your attention or you want to know a little bit more, we do have an open house event coming up very soon on Saturday, April 10th. That's only about 2.5 weeks from now. We will be hosting our virtual spring open house. Great opportunity to hear from our faculty, to talk to some other potential students. Would certainly love you to have you there. We are also offering limited in-person tours. Now, of course, there are some restrictions about the number of people we can have on campus at a time, but if you want to see us firsthand, get a feel for campus, check out our website, and we ask that you sign up for a visit, which we'd love to have you. Lasell University is a school that's on the Common App, so if you are someone who's thinking ahead to the fall, you can start working on your application as soon as the Common App becomes available in August. We do also encourage every student to fill out a FAFSA as they're going through the application process. You can see our FAFSA code there, but encourage you to participate there. I see I'm nearing my time, so I'm going to leave this on the screen here for just a second with my personal contact information. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll also, of course, be looking at the chat and the Q&A. And then last, but certainly not least, hearing me talk about Lasell is one thing, seeing it for yourself is totally different. As we said, we'd love to see you on campus, but before that happens, definitely check out our social media. Our students do a lot, they have a lot to say, and the best way to see it is to check us out on social media. So thank you for your time, and I'll let you get to the next person here. Thanks.
Thank you, Lasell University. Our next presenter is the Mass College of Liberal Arts.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Mancino. I'm an admission counselor at MCLA, and I grew up in the Capital District, specifically North Greenbush, New York, and I made my way to MCLA to study arts management. Let's get started. So an overview about MCLA. So at MCLA, we have a total student body a little bit over 1,500. Our average class size is about 17, and our student to faculty ratio is 12:1. So regardless of whatever class you're in, they're going to be capped at about 30, and we don't have any large lecture halls. So you're really going to be known by name here, and that definitely is going to help if you're looking to go to graduate school or just finding a job after college and you need a letter of recommendation because your professors are really going to get to know you. And MCLA was ranked one of the top 10 public liberal arts colleges by US News and World Report for 3 years in a row. And we were one of 26 colleges with low tuition costs and high salaries for our graduates. So we were a small but mighty college. And who are students? So we are a state university for Massachusetts. 71% of our students come from the state. However, we are 15 minutes from the New York border. And due to that proximity, we do offer reduced tuition for New York residents. So just something to know. And 41% of our students are first generation, meaning that they're the first one in their family to attend a 4-year college or university. 25% of our students are students of color. So we are predominantly white campus. However, we do have a few spaces for our students of color on campus, one being the Empowerment Lounge, and then another one is the Multicultural Education Resource Center, also known as MERC. And 62% of our students live on campus full-time. Seniors can live off campus, and anyone that's a commuter can also commute. And we have 21 majors, but our most popular majors tend to be business administration, psychology, education, English communications, and undeclared. And then as far as unique majors go, we offer electrical engineering, radiologic technology, and arts management, which is the arts and business program combined. And so some of the ways to get involved at MCLA are by joining a club and organization. We have 50 different ones that you can choose from. However, you can also start your own if you don't see one that you're hoping to join. One thing that I really like to highlight is MCLA is a smaller college. So you're going to be competing with less people for an e-board position. So if you are trying to become a president or a vice president of a club, you may only be competing with 1 or 2 other people. So we tend to see our students graduate with really full resumes because they are able to take advantage of so many opportunities. And next up is student spaces. So we just opened up our new fitness center this year. It's about 3 times the size of our old fitness center. So we're super excited to offer that to our students. Some additional spaces. So I mentioned the Empowerment Lounge and Multicultural Education Resource Center. We have a volunteer center if you're interested in doing community service. We have a Women's Center and Identity and Gender Equality Resource Center, also known as IGE, and a commuter lounge for our commuter students. And if you're interested in athletics, we do offer Division III athletics. Our teams are listed right on the left, and we do have intramurals if you don't want to play at the Division III level. A fun fact is that we own 70 acres of forest, and we have trails that actually connect to our athletic complex. So even if you don't have a car, you can always walk up and watch a game. And next up is housing. So we have 3 different options. Our first option is Who's It Call, which is traditional dormitory style. So longer hallways. If you want to dive into an environment that's a little bit more outgoing, we tend to recommend Who's It Call. If you are an introvert and you kind of want to ease in and have a suite style living, then Berkshire Towers is what we recommend. And then after your freshman year, you can choose to live in our townhouses, which are on-campus apartments that come with 1.5 bathrooms, a kitchenette, and a living room. And then in each of our buildings, we do offer themed floors and living and learning communities. For example, if you're part of the Honors Lounge, you can opt to live with other honors students as part of a living and learning community. And so we are located in North Adams and surrounded by the Berkshire Mountain Range. National Geographic ranked us as one of the top 10 destinations worldwide for our arts, culture, and natural beauty. We do have a list of the top 5 things to do. However, I'm going to skip over it today due to time, but we have plenty more things to check out when you visit. And we do offer study abroad here at MCLA. So on a typical year, students can choose from over 30 different countries. And we also have a study away program if you want to stay within the United States. And requirements for freshmen are your application. We are on the Common App and it is free to apply. Your high school transcript, a letter of recommendation, and a personal statement. We have waived the SAT, ACT requirements, so we no longer need those. We piloted a test flying policy this year. And it looks like my time's wrapping up, but the last thing is that our total cost for New York residents is $24,245. That includes room, board, meals, and projected cost of books. So that's it from me. I'll drop my contact information in the comment box, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Up next, we have the Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences.
Hi, everyone. My name is James Donnelly, Assistant Director of Admission at MCPHS University. We are located in Boston, Massachusetts, right in the city. We're located in the Longwood Medical and Academic area of Boston. We're a smaller school, about 4,500 students at our Boston campus. All first-year students coming out of high school will start at the Boston campus, regardless of their major. We're actually the oldest school in Boston. We were founded in 1823. So we're going to be celebrating our 200th anniversary within the next few years here. We're definitely excited about that. And the Longwood Medical and Academic area, it's a premier area to study healthcare, not just in the Northeast, but really in the country as well. We're surrounded by major teaching hospitals such as Brigham Women's Hospital, Boston Children's Hospital. So a lot of hospitals right in our backyard. And these are all teaching hospitals. We're definitely a teaching institution, which means that all of the faculty teach the courses. There's no graduate students or TAs teaching any of our courses. They're all taught by full-time faculty members. And we definitely have smaller class sizes as well. So the student to faculty ratio is 16:1. We only have 3 larger lecture halls on campus that you may find at a larger school. So you're going to get a lot of hands-on personalized attention too from your faculty members. We're a member of the Colleges of the Fenway Consortium, which is a 5-school consortium in the area, the Fenway Mission Hill area of Boston. So again, we're about 4,500 students at the Boston campus, and then through the College of the Fenway, there's about 15,000 students. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, the small school and the large school feel. And then we have a wide range of programs, as I'll get into in a little bit, but we also kind of implement into our curriculum interprofessional education, or IPE. So this is a teamwork-oriented approach that you'll find in the healthcare field when students will graduate. For example, our health psychology students will work with our MRI students, and our pre-med students with our nursing students. All of our majors really collaborate to kind of simulate what you're going to get, in the hospital setting after you graduate. Within the healthcare field and the healthcare industry as well. So we have housing on campus. Housing is guaranteed in the first year for all freshman students. And I would say about 80% of first year students will live on the campus, and then 20% will commute. We have 3 different styles of housing. We have suite style housing, apartment style housing, and traditional style housing. In the second year, students will go off campus and they'll live in off-campus apartments in the Mission Hill Fenway area, right around Boston. As you see here, we're a very diverse school. Our students come from over 100 countries in all 50 states. So you have the opportunity to be in classes with students really from around the globe. Great study abroad options as well. Through the College of the Fenway, we have about 70 clubs and organizations on our campus, as well as some of the other clubs through the COF consortium too. But Boston is really your campus. There's a lot to do right in the area around our campus. I'll get into the majors here. So we have a wide range of majors and programs. So as you see here, we have 7 schools within the university itself. Our top 3 majors are our Bachelor of Science in Nursing, our Pre-Med Health Studies program within the School of Arts and Sciences, and then our Doctorate of Pharmacy program. The major difference with our programs is that the School of Nursing, the School of Dental Hygiene, and the School of Medical Imaging and Therapeutics are accelerated programs. So these programs, they do have a year-round component. You're going to go fall, spring, and summer the first 2 years. And then our School of Pharmacy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and our School of Arts and Sciences, these are more traditional style programs. So these programs our fall and spring semester start programs. But the great thing with our programs is that most of our students will go on for graduate study after the bachelor's degree. And then We do have two graduate campuses. We have our Worcester, Massachusetts campus, which is about an hour west of Boston. And then we have our Manchester, New Hampshire campus about an hour north of Boston. So a lot of opportunity to not just get a bachelor's degree, but also a master's or even a doctorate degree as well. As for our application process, we are on the Common Application. It is free to apply, so there's no application fee. We are a early action school. So there's early action is great because it's non-binding. There's no commitment to the school if accepted. Our early action 1 deadline is November 1st and early action 2 is December 1st. What we look for are your official high school transcripts. 1 letter recommendation has to be an academic letter recommendation from a teacher or school counselor, and then 2 essays. The MCPHS specific essay, and then the Common App essay as well. We did waive the SAT and ACT requirements for students applying for this fall. Visit opportunities. So we will have one more accepted students event, which is April 6th to April 8th, which is going to be held virtually. And we do have in-person self-guided tours available as well every weekend in April. So those are the visit opportunities that we'll have right now. Again, my name is Jimmy. I will read all the applications for the upstate New York area. I will drop my information in the chat here too. Any questions, just feel free to reach back out, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. Up next, we have the Mass Maritime Academy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Callie O'Brien, and I am one of the assistant directors of admissions here at the Academy. I am also a graduate. The photo that you see right on the screen right now is an overview of our entire campus. So we are a very small school, about 55 acres, a little bit of our own peninsula here right on the Cape Cod Canal. So really the furthest point you'll sort of have to go is from the ship over to the gym, and that's pretty doable in a 5-minute walk. So a very small, compact campus, but we do have everything that you will need. Some quick facts about us. For anybody that doesn't know the area, we are located in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. That's about an hour south of Boston, 45 minutes to an hour from Providence, depending on how you hit that traffic. We have 1,700 undergraduate students, and we are a public university of Massachusetts and one of 6 state maritime academies. So I know that SUNY has a maritime academy that some of you might be familiar with. We are very similar. One of the biggest misconceptions is that people see our students in uniform and think that we are the military, and we are not. And I will get in a little bit to the regiment in a couple minutes. We offer a STEM-based education with a regimented campus life. We not only guarantee housing for 4 years, but we do require it because of the regiment and sort of those additional aspects that we throw on top of your academics. Tuition fees, room and board for New York residents, it comes to about $42,000 a year. That being said, there are various merit scholarships available, and those range from $8,000 to $15,000 a year that are 4-year renewable scholarships. We only offer 7 different majors, so I'm going to try to at least briefly name them all. The 2 biggest are marine engineering and marine transportation, and those prepare graduates to work at sea. So working on cruise ships, cargo ships, tankers, tugboats, as either engineering or deck officers on board. So either keeping the ship running or essentially driving it. We also offer facilities and energy systems engineering. Emergency management is probably one of the most popular programs in the last couple of years. We have students that go into local, state, and federal law enforcement, and you can work for FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. You can get into any sort of first responder field. So that has been a pretty big thing. And we've had a lot of graduates that have been on the front line of COVID response. We also offer an international maritime business program, as well as marine science, safety, and environmental protection. We operate on a learn, do, learn philosophy. All of our students will do experiential learning, regardless of what major. It will just sort of determine what type of experiential learning. So behind me on my photo, you'll see a ship. We have a 540-foot ship on campus. Students in marine transportation and marine engineering will do their experiential learning on our training ship, the Kennedy, and our other students will go out and work within their respective fields. On top of that, there will be at least 2 co-ops required for graduation. And regardless of what program you go into, there are options for careers on land and at sea. The regiment, this is what makes us a little bit different. So it is designed to build character and leadership skills. In simplest terms, it's a leadership simulation. When you come in as a freshman, it's all about learning how to follow, and you work your way up that ladder. And maybe by your junior and senior year, you are responsible for training the underclassmen. The uniform that you'll see on the top, the all black uniform, that's the everyday uniform to class, into the cafeteria, the library. And the uniform underneath, the whites, those are a more formal uniform when we're having special events on campus. We do have commissioning options for students who are interested. We commission students every year into the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard. Oh, this puts us a little bit on a more traditional scale, as we do have athletics and clubs. We offer Division III athletics. The only disclaimer is we don't typically have any winter sports, because that's when our students are doing their internships, co-ops, or out at sea. But you'll see the men's and women's teams listed. We also have a very active student government association. They put on all types of fun events. Emory Rice Day, which is a field day, pop-up events, donut trucks, and pizza, all sorts of fun things. There's a student lounge that students can go into, pool tables, some video games, some retro arcade games, which are pretty fun. We also have academic, military, and special interest clubs. And 7th Company is the band and honor guard. So if you had any interest in some of those parade type of things, that would be something to look into. And then how to connect with us. This is my information. If you want to grab a screenshot, I am the recruiter for New York. So I would be the one reviewing your application. We have our own internal application on our website, and we are also on the Common App. So you can do either method. We don't have a preference. They get reviewed the same way. We'll take a look at your transcript, your essay, your letters of recommendation. And we do typically require SAT or ACT scores. So if you have any questions, let us know.
Thank you so much. And now our final presenter.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Jack Knights. I'm an admissions counselor at Canisius College in Buffalo. I'm also a 2017 graduate of Canisius. There we go. All right, so Canisius is located right in the city of Buffalo. So we're an urban campus, but as you can see, we still have sort of the traditional feel of a college campus here. This is our main quad, sort of the main area of campus right there. All of these buildings right here are connected underground by a tunnel system, which is pretty cool, especially for Buffalo in the winter. You can go to class in shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of February, which is awesome. But so like the residence halls, the dining hall, the main academic building, and then our science labs are all located right there in the tunnel system. I had a dude on my floor my freshman year that wanted to see how many days he could go without going outside, and he went 30 days without going outside. So it's not suggested, but you could do it. You could definitely do it. So, you know, being in Buffalo, I think that's one of the really big advantages of Canisius. You know, Buffalo is a city and a college town all at the same time. There's 6 other colleges and universities in Buffalo, so there's a lot of 18 to 22-year-olds that are around. And really, you know, the area that we are in Buffalo, we're right in the middle of 2 of the young people neighborhoods of Buffalo, Elmwood Village and Hurdle Avenue. Those 2 places where our students like to hang out. There's lots of cool restaurants and shops, things to do in your free time. And we really want our students to embrace being in Buffalo and embrace the rest of the city of Buffalo, to sort of, you know, not only for your social life, like I'm talking about, but also for your professional life, for different internship opportunities. And then as well as community service is a really big part of Canisius. We are a Jesuit institution, so we're one of 27 Jesuit schools in the country. And the Jesuits' motto is people for and with others. So in everything that we do, we're trying to find good in all things, and we're trying to do everything for the betterment of society, really. So last year we had 35,000 hours of community service on our campus by our students, and there's no requirement for community service on our campus. So it really just shows you sort of the DNA of the Canisius student is, you know, wanting to give back into the Buffalo community, but then also lots of cool service trips that students go on during the year as well. So we are a smaller school. We're about 2,300 undergraduates, and then we also have some graduate programs as well. A lot of our graduate programs you're able to complete in 1 year after graduation from your undergraduate. So everyone in our business school is able to get an MBA in 1 year. Our computer science majors can get a master's degree in cybersecurity, and then our sport management majors with a master's in sports administration. While being a small school, we still are Division I for athletics. We play in the Metro Atlantic Conference, so a lot of schools in the Metro New York City area, and then some upstate schools as well. Siena and Albany is in our conference as well. Some of our signature programs, just talking about our pre-professional programs there, we have great acceptance rates to both medical and law school. You'll get an advisor that helps you one-on-one for helping you with doing all the things that you need to do. Obviously, making sure that you're keeping your grades up, but then doing the things outside of the classroom that are going to make you a standout applicant whenever you do apply to medical or law school. Our business program is also nationally ranked. Our accounting and finance program are in the top 7% nationally. Based on finances on U.S. News and World Report, and then accounting based on passing the CPA exam for our accounting majors. So both really great programs. One of the more unique programs that we have at Canisius, we're one of 6 schools in the country that have an animal behavior, ecology, and conservation major. So that's for people that want to work with animals, but might not want to go on to veterinarian school. Then those 2 sports majors there, sports broadcasting, we're partnered with ESPN. All of our Division I games are broadcast on the ESPN family of networks. And then sport management for the business side of things. We have partnerships with the Bills and the Sabres. We usually have about a half dozen students working with both the AFC East champions for all of our Massachusetts schools that are in here, Buffalo Bills, and then also the Buffalo Sabres as well. So lots of really great experiences, and also a lot of other majors as well. So here are some of our admissions deadlines. So priority consideration, early action, apply by December 1st, and we'll give you a decision before the end of December. After December 1st, we're rolling admissions. So for any seniors out there, we're still accepting applications for the fall of 2021. But then for our juniors, our application opens up on August 1st. It's free to apply, and we are on the Common App, as well as we have our own Canisius app as well. No preference to either one. There you see our middle 50% academic information of our class that came in last year, so about a 3.5 GPA. And then you see the ACT and SAT scores there. So, we are test optional as well. So those aren't required, but the test optional policy, one of the things that will be able to help you out if you do include your test scores is it can add some scholarship to your package. So the first thing that we'll look at, you don't need to do anything in addition to apply for scholarships at Canisius. For merit-based scholarships, we'll evaluate you for that whenever we're reading your application. The first thing we look at is your high school GPA. And then if you do include a standardized test score, we'll give you the higher scholarship. So for example, if you have a 92 and then a 1250, we'll give you the higher scholarship there. There's my contact information as we close out here today. So feel free to let me know if you need anything. I'm happy to help out with your college search, with questions about Canisius, anything like that, also in the question and answer as well. But thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. So that concludes the presentation portion of our session today. But now we're going to transition to our Q&A portion. Feel free to add questions in that Q&A section. In the meantime, I'm going to ask all of our presenters to return. Feel free to turn your cameras back on, and I will pose a question to the group. We'll start with Endicott College. The question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
Favorite event or tradition? Our Relay Life event every year is always a huge event for students. We have a 24-hour Relay for Life event that happens in our field house, and the whole community really participates in that, from faculty, staff, to students, coaches. Everybody really gets involved in that day. So that's a really kind of coming together day for the community, for a great cause. So that event's a ton of fun.
Lasell
is next.
Yeah. So I'd say my favorite campus tradition, Lasell, our athletic name were the lasers, coming from the Old Greek for light. A lot of our logos are based on a torch. And so every year, under normal circumstances anyway, at the end of the year, we have what we call our Torchlight Parade. And so during Torchlight, all of the seniors in the graduating class kind of march down Woodland Avenue, our main kind of drag of campus, with we use like the backyard, poolside torches. Underclassmen will get an invite. They're not necessarily told who has invited them, but they'll be told, hey, be where the parade ends. When we get to the end, the president of the senior class gives a speech, and then every senior physically hands their torch to an underclassman, and it sort of symbolically says, hey, you're someone who maybe you do the same activities I do, maybe you're the next captain of the team, but for some reason, I want to pass my experiences on to you. And it's a really cool moving event.
My favorite event at MCLA personally was the spring concert. So we just bring like a big artist to campus, and students get to meet the artist during the day, and then there's the concert at night. But I do know that a lot of our students' favorite event is called Baby Barn Animals, where we bring baby animals to campus, and students get to like cuddle with them and take selfies, and it's usually before like finals or midterms, so it's a nice way to kind of de-stress.
At MCPHS, we have a welcome week for first-year students, which is kind of like a scavenger hunt around the Boston area. And then they have a big club fair in a park close by to campus, but which really introduces, the first-year students to Boston. And then I would say for our senior students, we have our graduation at Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots play every year, which is definitely great. And all of our students look forward to that as well.
For me, I would have to say it's actually an underclassmen specific event is our orientation graduation. So all freshmen are required to complete a 2-week orientation. I personally describe it as a mini boot camp because I would rather over prepare a student than under prepare. But so at the end of the 2 weeks, everybody is in their uniform. They've learned how to march over the last 2 weeks. So everybody's in platoon, they do a marching competition. And it is one of the coolest events that we have to have everybody out in their uniform and to recognize the successes they've completed over the last 2 weeks, which typically include firefighting and water survival, learning sailing and rowing. So it's a very intense 2-week period. So seeing that all come to an end and be celebrated is definitely my favorite.
Awesome. So my favorite tradition at Canisius is our beginning of the year bonfire. So we have a big bonfire in the middle of campus. And our big rival is Niagara University, and they're a purple school. So if you throw in any of your purple items of clothing in there, you get a free Canisius t-shirt. So you won't see too much purple around on our campus, but it really just kicks off the school year. And it's a really fun event that they've been doing for forever. So really cool tradition.
Thank you all for sharing. So one final question here. Give an interesting or fun fact about your school. And again, we'll go in the same order.
So interesting or fun fact, I guess the fun fact would be Endicott was founded in 1939 as a 2-year women's school. And at that time, implemented our internship program. So we were actually the first college in the country to require students to complete internships for graduation. And fast forwarding to where we are now, Endicott's only been 4 years in co-ed for about 27 years. So in terms of the 4-year co-ed market, we're a young school and growing fast. But I guess that would be the fun fact. It's kind of just like the history of that internship program and the history of the college.
Chris, we're going to overlap there a little bit, so I'm sorry to say that, but Lasell was founded in 1851, also as an all-women's school. But the fun fact part of this is not that founding, but we had a reputation at the time of being sort of the premier women's finishing school in Greater Boston. And so there was a long period of time where if Harvard was having any kind of ball or dance, it was like a known thing. The Harvard boys would come down to Lasell's campus to ask out the girls there. And that relationship has continued in a fun way where now, of course, because of COVID, this isn't necessarily the case, but in recent history, there have actually been more Lasell students working in Harvard athletics than Harvard students, although the reason's different, but that kind of through line there is really fun.
My fun fact is going to be geared towards New York students, I guess. So we're 15 minutes from the New York border, and we're also only an hour away from Albany. So the fun fact is we're pretty much like an in-state option out of state.
I would say similar to the other schools, MCPHS is actually the oldest school in the city of Boston, even older than Harvard, founded in 1823. And fun fact, we're going to celebrate our 200th anniversary in 2 years here. So
I'll swing back to the first two, and oppositely, Mass Maritime was founded in 1891 as an all-men's school with only 2 majors, marine engineering and marine transportation. Women have been on campus for a little over 30 years. We only make up about 15% of the population. And the fun fact is that when it comes to leadership positions, they hold 40% of those positions on campus.
Right, so my fun fact about Canisius is one of my favorite. I think we have one of the best mascots in the country. We are the Golden Griffins, so half of a lion and half of an eagle. And despite popular what the seniors tell the first year students, they're not running around on campus, and it was actually like named after a ship or something, the Griffin. So it was named after a ship, but the Griffins, we consistently will win Instagram polls for best mascot in the country for Division I.
Nice. Thank you all for sharing those fun facts about your institution. With that said, that concludes our college fair for today. But I do have a few closing announcements. So as you exit the Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 4 questions or so, but please complete the survey. It's very helpful for us as we aim to improve our virtual college fairs in the future. Again, I also want to remind you that you can sign up for additional sessions, so feel free to visit our registration site. And finally, this recording will be available within about a week or so at sharpscan.com/CASDANY. Again, thank you to our amazing presenters, and also thank you to all of our attendees. I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.